Hey folks, Paul Carlson with Safety Solutions Academy. We're out here at the range today on a beautiful sunny day, and we're living the armory life. And today, living the armory life means we are going to get our new HEX Wasp dialed in. That's right, I've got here a brand new HEX Wasp that I'm gonna throw on top of my already disassembled RDP, my Hellcat RDP. You can see it's got a Wasp on there. I've got probably 1,000 rounds to this right now, but what we wanna do is we wanna learn how to get a Wasp dialed in. Whether you've got an OSP or you purchase an RDP, you're gonna wanna make sure you have that optic set up just right so that you're getting the hits you need to get when you need them most. What do you say we dive into it? Today, we're getting our Wasp dialed in. That's right, I've got a brand new Wasp. We're gonna be putting this Wasp through a torture test, and I wanna start out with a brand new one on top of my Hellcat RDP so that we give this optic as fair of a shake as possible, because I tell you what, we are gonna beat the snot out of it. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna get this Wasp dialed in. Now, maybe you own a Hellcat OSP or one of the other Springfield OSPs, or you own some other gun that is cut for an optic and you want to put an outstanding little optic on it. This HEX Wasp is a great choice. It's durable, it's lightweight, and it's built perfectly for smaller pistols like the Hellcat. So I'm going to start out by simply removing the Wasp that I have already on top of my RDP slide. I've got my Torx wrench already set up in my little driver here. We'll go ahead and we'll turn out these M4 screws. Now, to remove the Wasp from this cool packaging, you'll see on the back here, you've just got some plastic nuts and screws. I'm just gonna go ahead and use my fingers to turn those off. You can see that the battery is a bottom mount battery. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna open up my 2032 package. I'm going to insert the negative side, the side without the plus on it, down. I'm gonna make sure I make contact with the side first and then press it into place. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and take a look through the optic. Yep, this is an always on optic and I see the dot, it's ready to go. Now I'm simply gonna go ahead and set it down in place on top of the slide. So we just set it right there where it needs to go. Now I mentioned we're gonna be using the M4 screws. Now, if you're mounting this on a pistol other than the Hellcat, you may need to use different screws. So check that out with your manufacturer. They should be giving you the information you need to be able to get that optic placed right on top of your pistol. I'm gonna go ahead and set these screws in place. They are already Loctited. If you take a look there, you might be able to see there's a little bit of blue Loctite on there. There's no need for me to do anything else other than drop these screws in. If you are replacing your battery, which I suggest you do every time you change your smoke detectors, I would encourage you to clean the screws well, degrease them, and then go ahead and put a fresh drop of Loctite on top. All right, so I've gotten these screws just finger tight, not very tight at all. Now I'm gonna switch over my Torx bit to an important tool when you're dealing with optics. That's my Fat Wrench by Wheeler. There are other brands of torque wrenches that you can use. You can see that mine is set for 15 inch-pounds, and that's important. In the manual, it specifies that this optic needs to be torqued to 15 inch-pounds. So we've got the torque wrench set to that. We're gonna go ahead and slowly back and forth just begin to tighten these screws evenly till we get to that 15 inch-pounds. You can feel that I'm getting close. This is not overly tight. If you don't have a torque wrench, my guess is it's likely that you're gonna over torque these screws, and that could lead to problems for you. It could lead to strips. There we go. We got one click on the first one, another one. I like to do 3 clicks just to make sure I got it. We've got our optic mounted. Now we're ready to get this bad boy sighted in. Now, a quick little tip for you. If you want to save ammo, and I know right now everybody does, one of the things you can do is work to get this optic sighted in to the iron sights before you even start shooting. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take a look here, and it's not too far off. I'm thinking we're gonna be a little bit low and a little bit left, but I think we're close enough to get started. So I'm gonna go ahead, reassemble the pistol. One of the important things to do is to do a function check on the gun. Yep, it still functions properly. trigger resets properly, we should be good to go. We'll go ahead, get some eyes and ears here, and let's go ahead and see where it is that we're gonna be hitting on the target. Now I have a target set up downrange at 12.5 yards. Seems like kind of an odd distance. I picked 12.5 yards very specifically. If you take a look at the dial here, on the dial you can see that it says for each hash mark you're gonna move 1/2 inch at 25 yards. That means if I have the target half of that distance, I'm gonna move 1/4 inch for each hash mark. It's gonna make my math easier when it comes time to making adjustments. So that's why I choose 12.5 yards. I wanna have the target close enough that I can shoot a nice tight group. Normally I sight my pistol optics in at 10 yards, but with this 12.5, it just makes sense. Let's do it. All right, now, when I aim downrange, I'm gonna take that aim small, miss small principle to heart. I'm not shooting at the box that the 6 is in. I'm not even shooting at the number 6. Instead, I'm gonna be shooting at that circle inside the number 6, inside the bottom. That's what I wanna get my hits on. Let's see how I do at 12.5 yards. All right, 3 shots, and you can see from the target downrange, decent group. I've got no complaints about that, but you can see the group is high. Based on that target, I know that the group is about 6 inches high. 6 inches. Every inch is made up of 4 quarters, right? So I'm gonna need to move 24 hash marks down. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take the small Allen key out of the packaging here. And I'm gonna take the Allen key and I'm gonna slide it right down inside this dial. I'm gonna push it all the way in so it's nice and snug and not gonna turn. So you can see, got this little setup here, right? Cool. So now I've got the elevation adjustment. You can see it there on the top with the letter U. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna insert this Allen key. I wanna move the group down, so I'm gonna rotate counterclockwise, and I'm just gonna choose the corner of the optic to rotate it. I need to go 24, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Let's go ahead and give it a try with 20 clicks and see how that does for us. All right, cool. We'll go ahead, load it back up. Again, aim small, miss small. My goal is the circle inside the bottom of the 6. Oh, I'm shooting horribly, aren't I? I've got those 2 shots that are good 2 shots right there. The other 2 are flyers. It happens. Let's go ahead and get one more in there. Got a lot of wobble today. There it is. I'm just a touch low and a touch to the left. So I want to undo, let's go 3, now let's do 4 clicks or 4 hash marks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Went 4 hash marks clockwise. Let's give it 4 hash marks to the right as well. So that is also a clockwise turn. I'm gonna pick a reference point. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go ahead and pick a new point of aim. I'm gonna choose the bar on the letter H. You see the yellow box there? I'm gonna choose that bar. That's what I'm gonna be firing at. Let's see if I can calm this wobble down a little bit. All right. Again, not amazing shooting, but you can see I overcorrected in both instances. Too much up and too much to the right. We'll go ahead, unload the pistol. We now need to move to the left, so a counterclockwise, and we're gonna go 2 turns. 2 hash marks. And we're gonna go down, also counterclockwise, 2 hash marks. Still a little bit up and left. Let's go back 2 more hash marks. We're up and right, actually. We're going for the K this time. And again, I'm not shooting at the whole circle. I'm shooting at the spot where the 3 lines intersect on the K. There we go. I gotta tell you, I'm not too terribly disappointed. I'm gonna go ahead, unload. I'm gonna bring the target in 2.5 yards now to where it is that I really like to sight it in, 10 yards, and let's see how it looks. Now, 2.5 yards probably doesn't seem like much, but it makes a big difference when it comes to making accurate shots with a little pistol like the Hellcat. Let's go ahead and let's run on that number 3. Not shooting at the octagon that the number 3 is in. Instead, we're gonna shoot at the center section of the 3 where the 2 loops come together. I wish I was shooting a little bit better, but you can see that the group pretty much surrounds that 3. Apparently, that's where my shooting is today. Yeah, there we go. Really 2 flyers out there, but you can see that I've got that 3 surrounded now. I'm pretty comfortable that this dot is sighted in right where I need it to be. If I was shooting a little bit better, you'd be seeing super tight groups there at 10 yards. Gotta tell you what, these new 15 rounders from Springfield, these things, they let you get a lot of shooting in with a little pistol, don't they? Let's finish this one off. Man, I tell you what, shooting red dots is an absolute blast. I really enjoy shooting any pistol with a red dot, but I tell you what, this Hellcat RDP with HEX Wasp on top is one of my favorites. This HEX Wasp is small, it's light, it's a perfect form match for the Hellcat. It's super easy to get set up on your pistol. So if you've got a Hellcat OSP that's got a naked slide, get that plate off of there and get a HEX Wasp on. And then folks, you know what I want you to do. I want you to get out to the range and live the armory life. I will see you there.